with the recent full moon that we had, does Wolfman howl at the moon?
Doesn't everybody howl at the moon? Don't you ever get the urge? You just see it out there. It
No
was
one
out
cares about
tonight.
anyone
I
else.
don't
They
know
just
if it
want to
was a
know if
full
Wolfman does it.
but does Wolfman howl at the moon? Not regularly, but I have before.
Running with Maverick and Wolfman. Maverick here.
Wolfman here. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and the big one, YouTube. And remember, when you're watching our stuff, give it a big thumbs up, share it with friends. That's how it comes to more people like you.
All right, Wolfman. Looking very neon tonight.
I was running, it was dark. Didn't have time to change.
You should have worn that for the other episode. We talked about night running.
Did I have something nighttime on? I can't remember. You guys might have to go back and watch it. Let us know in the comments. Was Wolfman wearing night glow yellow?
Neon man.
I don't think I was.
All right.
Come to think of it.
Let's hear it.
What's
your
that?
mileage? What'd you run today?
Oh, today I started training for diamonds. It's 6 weeks away, so I did a tempo workout with some 200-meter repeats, which I gotta say, it's been a while since I've done something like that. But not too shabby.
Like $1 million.
Yeah, actually,
nice.
I didn't do too bad. I was surprised, but a little faster than I'm used to. But it was good. I think
yeah. Well, you were marathon training, and now you're toning it down to a 9
miler. 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, I think.
Versus the Jackal.
No, he won't be coming in. He's got his half marathon this weekend.
Right, we're gonna hear about that.
Best of luck. So 1:25:05, he's got to beat.
Or better, yeah. 1:25:05 or better, Jackal.
Or better.
Remember that.
I hope he listens to this before he runs. Oh no, it won't be out before then.
That's it. Now, I have a question for tonight, for this episode. It's a big question. Why, oh why, do you run?
Ooh. Why, oh why do you run? I gotta ponder that one. Do you already have an answer? Pondering.
See you at the Ponderosa.
That's a fun show.
Listen, I think everyone's got their reasons for why they run. I think some people run early in life, middle of life, later in life, multiple times, all throughout. Something gets you started in it usually, whether it be a friend, a family member, an event that you want to get into, such as a marathon. There's just different reasons. For me, running was always part of life. It's part of sports. I was always involved in multiple sports per year, and it was just part of the training, part of the exercise routine. And I enjoyed exercise. I enjoyed the run. And I just got into the distance running later, high school, got into it, and then college really heavily. But yeah, there was a drive to do it. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of funny. I never, in those early years, thought that that's what I would do in college. I figured I'd play a sport, soccer, basketball, baseball, something. But it just, kind of made sense to do, and then I really started to appreciate it, and it would clear my mind. It would help me think about things, reset some batteries, still get out all that stuff that you had to get out during the day. Still get your exercise, endorphins going, get your adrenaline pumping. Still did all that same stuff the other sports did, but it's just different. So I kind of acquired a enjoyment of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, it's one of those things. So yeah, let's hear your answer. What am I doing
Yeah.
all the talking for? I'm
I
only
had to
half this
ponder it.
show.
I wasn't prepared. No, I
You
think
didn't prepare me last week, so now I'm pulling the rug
I
right out from underneath your feet.
you are.
Neon
You
outfit
are. I
as you're
think it was
glowing at me.
I think it was good to surprise you with the jackal. I thought that added to the allure of the episode myself. I thought it was fantastic to see you in shock. And before I do answer, I looked it up, and it was almost exactly a year that we've been bugging him to come on the show. So
See,
it did. It
that's
took about a year, people.
that's
Um,
that's that's what it takes.
so
What it
why
takes to
oh
run a good
why?
marathon too. I hear
What's that?
that's what it
Yeah,
takes to run a good marathon too. I
yeah,
hear a good year
yeah,
of persistence.
yes. Why oh why do I run? I think I think it evolves a little bit over time. I first started running kind of similar to you. I was athletic. I did different sports. Um, Kind of got tired of the coaches at the time and the politics behind it. At a young age, I figured that out. Um, Met a girl and she was running. So what do high school boys do? They follow the girls. Well, she quit and I didn't. And
So you weren't really good at following then, huh?
no, I guess not. But then I found that I was decent at this running thing, and I learned to enjoy it. And then you keep going back to it. I think because I enjoy the challenge um, that it puts before you. There isn't a lot of politics in it. You don't sit out of races because your coach's son is slower than you, but it's the coach's son, so he's gonna run faster. It doesn't work that way. Um,
We can
so that
arrange it.
was out of it. Yeah, you can arrange it. Um, and then I think at a certain point, it starts to define you. I think for a lot of runners, and I think we've talked about this or at least touched on it before. At a certain point, it defines who you are. So then, I think we all go through spurts where we're not running as much, and I know you and I certainly have, and we've talked about it on the show. But something's missing when you're in those times, and when you get back into it, it really reminds you, like, oh yeah, this is what I do. This is who I am, and yeah, I think that's what it is. It evolves, and you keep coming back to it because you develop a love for it. You know,
The love hate relationship,
love
huh?
hate relationship. Yeah, yeah,
Running can be a struggle. It can,
it can
but
be.
it usually is a good struggle.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I think if you can acknowledge that, even if you're running for recreation, I think if you can acknowledge the fact that it's going to be tough at times, and it's going to be one of those things that's not always comfortable, you becomes that much more enjoyable for you. Um, that I think anyway.
Right. I mean, you can make it comfortable by just slowing down, decreasing your mileage, yada yada. Yada. I mean, but if you're
Yeah,
shooting for a goal, if you're trying to hit certain times, yeah, you're gonna have to challenge yourself. It's gonna be uncomfortable,
yeah,
and that's part of the enjoyment of it. As weird as that sounds, because you're learning how your body works, how to get more out of it, how to perform and do this task that you're asking.
yeah,
And the challenge and all the things that go along with it, and the enjoyment of the sport, the camaraderie and everything else that we obviously encountered in the 10 miler
oh
and the
yeah,
marathon when we met up with friends and listeners of the podcast and everybody else that we met along the journey, the race promoters, everybody. So it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of interaction that
yeah,
you don't necessarily get in other sports as much. You do to some degree, but like let's be honest, like if you're in a weekend softball team, there's enjoyment, there's camaraderie, there's some of those things, but it's not kind of the same. Like we don't even know who we're going to run into when we're there. We're just
Right.
chit chatting, and all of a
Right.
sudden we see our old teammate, we see somebody that we haven't seen in 20 years. Like I said, a new listener comes up and starts talking to us about stuff. Like it's just different.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things unique to running as well is, whether you're elite, sub elite, recreation, if you toe the line for that 10 miler, for instance, you're all suffering for 10 miles together, really. Um, and I think there's a certain camaraderie that comes with that that doesn't come with other sports. I mean, I think you could say that there is, you know, a certain amount of it, but you think about some of the relationships you have that have really stood the test of time. And I would say most of them started on a cross country team or a track team or a long run where you met a guy that you didn't know before and you start talking. Like, you think of some of your closest friends now and that's who they are, And I don't know that you could say that about other sports, you know. But maybe you could.
It's an interesting topic. We could definitely bring that up.
Yeah.
Future guests.
Yeah.
So that's why you run.
That's why I run. I enjoy it. And it defines me now, you know.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you
Please
do.
define what you're defining.
It,
Define it,
it
please. I need a definition.
it's the bumper sticker on my life.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you over your neon outfit.
You're loving it. Uh-oh, is
We're
McDonald's going to
inside.
sue us
We're
now?
inside. Can you please turn down the light?
Like I said, I didn't have time to change, man. It's dark outside.
Okay, so that's why you run. Now let me ask you this: why do you not run?
Usually it's some poor excuse not to.
So that's
Like,
not a rest day; it's poor excuse.
yeah, I mean sometimes you might have rest days, but on days that you're planning to run that you don't, I find that for me anyway, it's a poor excuse. Like today I was going to do this workout and I knew it was going to happen late. Um and I got home from, I went to job 1 and I went to job 2 and I got home from that and I made more calls and things for job 1 and it was getting a little later than I wanted to start and I thought to myself, well, you could run less today and do your workout tomorrow, but probably wouldn't. So so what? It was 20 minutes later than I wanted to start. You just got out there because it's kind of a poor excuse, Oh, I'm off by 20 minutes. Well, nobody's waiting for you.
I was waiting. I was waiting 20 minutes for you.
I know you were. But you know what I mean. Like for me anyway, if it's not a planned rest day, I find that I just have a some kind of poor excuse for not doing it the way I planned to do it. Not always.
Got
I
it.
mean, stuff comes up, but the majority of the time,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah,
I understand. Things get in the way. You have
yeah,
responsibilities.
yeah. Stay hard.
So yeah. So there's
Why
reasons
don't?
to
Oh
run,
yeah,
reasons to not run, and the reasons to not run can become like anybody's excuses, like you said, for anything. Like, well, why didn't
yeah,
you pay your bills? Why didn't you take out the trash? Why
yeah,
didn't you paint your house? There's always an excuse. There are excuses.
yeah. And
I'm gonna
that's
go
not
paint
to
my house
say
right now.
there's yeah. That's not to say there's not good reasons not to run. Like if you're injured, obviously you shouldn't be running. If you're sick, you probably shouldn't be running. But generally speaking, they're just poor excuses, in my
I
opinion.
But what if I have to go to the grocery store? Or what if I'm tired?
I don't know. Modify, I guess. I don't know.
Listen, basically the point is that yeah, there's valid excuses, there's
Yeah.
valid reasons not to do stuff. It's your choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to
Mhm.
run. You don't
Yeah.
have to exercise, but you
And
probably feel better if you do.
yeah, I agree. I think you will if you do, but I think we've touched on this before too, though. Like if you're trying to do it to ease stress or to better your life or whatever it is, and you're obsessing and stressing over it, then maybe it's not for you. You should find a different activity. You know,
Like badminton.
like Batman. Oh, I thought you said Batman, but
Like
badminton's
or
okay.
Batman. You could become Batman. That's totally fine
Yeah.
with me. I don't care. It's fine.
Um, but I think if it's something that's important to you, um, and you do enjoy doing it, and you're not stressing about doing it, you'll find the time. You know.
That's the beauty of it. And I remember a famous Wolfman once said that if you could run it in a week, then you could run it on race day.
That's right.
And I
Not the best
never
advice.
ever
But
what's that?
I said that's not the best advice, but yes, I do
I
think
don't
that.
care. You still said it, and I'm going to bring it up again and
Yeah,
again and again. So if you
because it's
run
true. I think
26.2
yeah,
in
if you
a
can run
week,
it in a week, you can
technically,
run it in a day.
and it might be terrible, but you could do it. So it is what it is. You can do
That's
it.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
can do it
poor
for sure.
advice, but it's I do think it's true.
Sometimes poor advice is the best advice,
That
wrapped with a
that's good.
marathon blanket.
Yeah,
Oh, there's some wisdom in there, is what I'm getting at. There's some wisdom in there. So
you
yeah, I
you
mean,
really got to
like think about
tweeze
it.
it out, but it's there.
We could run 100-mile weeks, and we can go all at it, and we might run crappier than if we ran 50 miles in the week and did the same race, or
Yeah,
the same workouts, or even just how we felt. I mean, maybe we're not running races. Maybe the person that needs this advice is actually just running to be in shape. And they go, well, I just
yeah,
want to run to be in shape. And I keep trying to run 25 miles in a week and I don't hit it. And then I'm upset and I get mad. And then I don't go out and I skip 2 days and da da da. Well, then maybe just do whatever you do and
yeah,
then not worry about climbing up on your mileage and run
yeah,
that for a month or two and see what happens. Maybe you'll all of a sudden go, oh, okay, now I'll do 5 miles instead of three
yeah.
miles, and now I'll do 4 miles instead of 2 miles. Like maybe you'll just naturally ramp up after some time. Because sometimes we rush things. Remember,
Oh yeah,
we're
I
rushing
think
through.
yeah,
Slow
yeah,
down.
yeah,
Listen to the podcast.
yeah. I focus on consistency first. If you focus on consistency, the volume will come. And then you can crank that puppy to 11 and rock out.
That's the my amp goes all the way to 11.
Yeah. Comment below if you get that reference.
That's for Dominic. Dominic will understand that. Musicians will understand that. Maybe.
That's probably true.
All right. So we're covering a lot already. All right.
We are.
What I wish I could cover is that outfit that's glowing at me
I
again
mean,
and
I
again,
have a t-shirt
reflecting
on
as if
under, but it's cold in the garage. It's 45 degrees out here.
40, 45 and climbing. All
I
right,
don't know.
so let's talk about balancing,
Balancing. What are we
balancing
balancing? What are we balancing?
work life, run life, exercise, routines.
Work
How do we
life
find a balance?
balance.
How do you find a balance? What are you doing to balance?
Uh well, I mean, I myself I mean, I think certain things happen for reasons, but I mean, I really what I did to improve the balance was I changed jobs drastically. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
it. That's it.
uh, well, I mean that
We
wasn't it, I'm sure,
we
but
got to change jobs.
that change, I mean, it made it so I can do this. It made it so I could train more the way I wanted to. That in itself made me healthier, which I think makes you less cranky. Um, it made it so I can help out with the kids more. It made it so I could coach. I mean, it that change that I can't say I was looking for, but I decided to do. I mean, it really did completely change that balance of things. So
Huh.
that's what I did.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah,
So not a strict routine, not a regimented schedule, just 180 the whole workforce idea.
I mean that's yeah. I mean in the past though, just like you said, just schedule and routine. Like
Hmm.
all right, I'm gonna get up at 4:30 every morning, and I'm gonna go for my run. I have until 5:30 to do it, and then you get done with work, and you say, okay, we're done with work. We're gonna work out for half hour to an hour after work. We're just gonna do it before we go
Yep.
home. So you did it, and then repeat. Um, that's how I did it. It doesn't always work for everybody, but again, that comes down to that consistency. Whatever your routine is, if you work on that consistency, it will pay dividends. Word of the day.
All right. Here's a question. Ready?
Well, how do you balance it? How do you balance it?
It doesn't matter. This question is more important than that. This is a
You,
question that's come in.
you
Ready?
don't balance it. You more
Does
juggle it, right?
with the recent full moon that we had, does Wolfman howl at the moon?
Doesn't everybody howl at the moon? Don't you ever get the urge? You just see it out there. It
No
was
one
out
cares about
tonight.
anyone
I
else.
don't
They
know if
just
it
want to
was a
know if Wolfman
full,
does it.
but does Wolfman howl at the moon? Not regularly, but I have before.
If you're running a full marathon on a full moon, do you howl at the moon?
I mean, I never have, but I would think you have to, right?
Oh,
Wouldn't that be part of it?
that would be an interesting race, a nighttime marathon under the full moon. That would be some interesting stuff, man.
That would be neat. I'm not sure about with the full moon, but I know they have nighttime marathons. I think there's usually one somewhere for New Year's where that's how they ring in the new year. You either start your marathon at midnight or you run through midnight. I can't remember which, but I wonder
Yeah,
if there's full moons for that. Is there ever a full moon on New Year's Day? Does anybody know? I would think it has to happen at some point, right?
I love how you're making more work for yourself. You're looking that up. No one else is doing
Larry, look that up. Get back to me.
that. Oh man.
But yeah,
All right. So you're feeling pretty good, getting ready for diamonds. If anyone doesn't know, it's Run for the Diamonds,
yeah, run
and
for
it
the
is a
diamond.
long, long run that's been around for many, 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 many decades, over 100 years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah,
want
over
to
100
say
years.
it's got to be approaching 130, right?
I don't. I want to say it was 1900 something. I think, but I don't quote me on that. But I believe it was 1900s. I don't think it was the 1800s.
No, no, I don't think it was the 1800s. Maybe 1904 sound right?
I would guess 1906. But I never ran it, so you should know. I shouldn't.
Well, it says it on the back of all the shirts. It has what year
Well,
it
go
is.
get his shirt and check it out.
Well, now I'm gonna look it up.
Oh
Um,
boy.
Whip run for the diamonds.
So anyway, he's getting ready for Run for the Diamonds,
Yes, it's
and
in
he's
Berwick,
training for that.
Pennsylvania. 9 miles. It's a fun time for anybody that wants to do it. We
There's a
could
lot
probably
of
put the
runners in
link
it, though.
below. I forget how many people are in it.
There's a decent crowd gathering, and there's a decent amount of runners. From what I've seen on television, I haven't actually, like I said, been
Yeah,
there for it. Um, and it's cold usually, right? It's a
it
cold day.
varies. I would say you never know. I mean, it's the end of November. I have run it in like a tank top and shorts, and I have run it bundled up more than I am now in a snowstorm. You just never know.
And
1908 it
what's your
started.
prediction?
Pain.
1908. Ah, so close.
Comment below if you get that reference. Um, no, I'm hoping to PR. My Garmin predicts 55 minutes and change, but I need to be faster than that if I want to PR. We'll see what happens. See what
But
happens in
why are
6
you
weeks.
letting your Garmin dictate your running abilities?
I don't know. I don't know how accurate it is sometimes. When I finished the marathon a couple weekends ago, it had my prediction as like 2:59, and I was like, wrong. Ran a 3:08. Stupid
Yeah.
Garmin.
Well, it's not predicting anything. I mean, it's just taking your average and then just making it, figure out. But that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you change something about what you're running that day, like how you feel, how you slept, what you're wearing,
Yeah.
how the course is, whatever. If you change enough factors, it's probably going to change your time, at least somewhat, if not
Yeah.
significantly.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
Right
it
now
makes
though,
sense that's a good predictor of what you probably could do.
I think so. I schools and I have talked about it, like how accurate it is. Like if everything fell into place, is it accurate or not? But who knows? But right now, I think they're predicting it's going to be like high 30s on that day, like 39, 38 degrees.
Cool.
Um, so cold,
Yeah.
a little
Cool.
chilly, a little chillier than now. But 1908, that race started, and
1908.
I think there was 1 year in there that they didn't run it because of World War II. Maybe there's 1 year they didn't run it. So yeah,
Well, this year it will be run, and we will see what Wolfman does and if Garmin is correct in predicting his time.
we're hoping it'll be a little faster than that.
All
But
right,
no,
guys.
I'm looking
Thanks for
forward to it.
listening. Thanks for supporting the show. Stay tuned to hear how Wolfman does in diamonds, and we
Yeah, we got a
will
few weeks.
we will see how he's progressing. We'll see how his training's going. We will be back with more topics. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting the show. As always, Maverick and Wolfman running out.